Okay, let's try to create an output for the direct debits. I'm in the local host of my test environment, and there are a few things that need to be in place. First, I will show you the programs. I have two test programs here, and one of them is this one, and you have to make sure to start with that there is a price. So we'll look at financial. You have to have a price. This switch, by the way, is not relevant. It's not linked to the actual working at the moment, so ignore that. What is important is the direct debit mode. Depending on what you set here, the direct debit is only triggered related to the start of the individual activity. So when you have debit at start, you should at least have a course which starts before today or before today. So when I check this course, I can see that it starts at the 4th of October, which is in the past, meaning that it will allow for a direct debit. If direct debit is on hold, then it will never direct debit. This is a typing mistake. It should be debit at once, not on once, but at once. If you choose this, it should always direct debit. So you could select this option or direct debit at start, but then you have to make sure that the start is in the past. That is to start with. Okay, now you have to have an enrollment on the course, so I will be going to a user, and I will take a normal default user, so let's do, for example, this one. And oh yeah, always my action buttons disappear in my local host, sorry, I have to apply them. So when I take this regular user here, I can enroll him on a course, and in this case, of course, I will be enrolling this person on the course I just showed you. Proceed with enrollment. And here you have your enrollment to start with, but you need a direct debit record. So apply a single debit record here, so that you have a record of type direct debit, as Dutch is direct debit, and there is a schedule amount and there is a scheduled date. The date is today, that's okay. So these are really required. So let's save this enrollment. And now there are two more things that you need to check. First, in the program information itself, you have to check that the course is to be held. So in the control tab, the status should be at start. It could be on planned, but then you have to have a specific setting here. So start is okay always. Take start. And then if you look at the person here, you have to specify a valid bank account number. So I select this person, and there is a name here. So let's say my name here, bank account, and you have to have a valid bank account. I already gave you my bank account, which is valid, so that is something like NL61INGB 000319892. Yeah, and you update this. Okay, now basically these are the prerequisites in order for a direct debit to be generated. So let's have a look at the direct debits. And I already had one here, which was my test of earlier today. but let's create another one. And it says the new batch has been successfully created. And if you examine the output, the SEPA file itself, it opens here, this one, and here I don't know if you see this on the screen or if it's an overlay, but here you will find, let's say, the SEPA file which is created. Same goes for if I would download the PDF, and the PDF would open. It will open in the browser, and you will see that the PDF for the thing that I just created, this particular person with this bank account number has now a direct debit for this amount. And if you want to redo that, so you want to test it again, you simply roll back. You use this icon. You will reset the batch. So if the output in the SEPA file was not correct, you can reset the batch, and then if you click the button again, then it will immediately create the batch again, so that you can iterate between creating the batch and rolling back and then testing again by creating it again. And if I do that for both batches now, and I would do this one as well, and I would, so I have no batches now. That is, I have no batches now. Yep. And if I now would add a debit batch, it would put both payments into the same batch, as you can see by the amount. So this is now one SEPA file with two direct debits in it, which is also a neat way to test. This is the instruction for the creation of a direct debit. Later on I will do the same for you for the payback files and the tutor payments, so that you can test those as well. But this is for now to start with, I think, okay for you to see how this works, what I described.